of the Roman Empire, ruler of the world.
All else being equal, what was the best time and place in history to be gay or lesbian?
So this is a fascinating and deceptively simple question because it raises a lot of issues of historical specificity and definitions. The short answer is that now is probably the best time to be gay if your definition of that has to do with Western style pride parade, visibility, and sort of a desire for the law and for culture to accept you as an out gay person. So if that's not the definition you're working with, then we have to expand the discussion somewhat.
Time for Gay History 101.
Historically speaking, homosexual only comes into being as a category in the late 19th century, and gay and lesbian don't really emerge until a few decades after that. Only then do you get people self-identifying that way, and do you get the culture and society sort of understanding those terms to mean individual people or groups of people. If you want to use those words, we have to look at a very limited set of decades. You could start in the 1890s, possibly with like an Oscar Wilde figure. Of course, the problem there is that if you're caught, you are sentenced to hard labor for being a sodomite, so that's not so great. Some people look to just before Stonewall, when gay culture flourished. Even though it was oppressed, it flourished sort of underground, and there were a lot of interesting things that happened in that time that were sort of made impossible after gay liberation began. If we abandon gay and lesbian and even homosexual as the terms we're using, if you're talking about just men who have sex with men or women who have sex with women, we can look to ancient Greece, as a lot of gay men do, as a sort of moment where different kinds of sexuality were at play.
That's ancient history.
Well, history sometimes repeats itself.
I personally sort of think it would be fun to live in like Versailles in the 18th century. There's some scholarship that suggests that was the origins of camp and the camp sensibility, and so, you know, that could have been interesting.
Got the beta king.
At the end of the day, answering the question which time or place in history is the best is impossible because you're comparing apples to oranges, but it does really make for a fascinating thought experiment.